Welcome to the 11 Days of Global Unity Summit and are celebrating the 20th anniversary of 11 Days of Global Unity. My name is Jana Larson, and I am the Human Resources and Deputy Director for We the World. Today, I'm very pleased to introduce our guests for a special presentation, Aurora Pagonis and Janet Grace Nelson. For the full 11-day schedule, you can register for free by going to 11daysofglobalunity.org. And note that 11 is a numeral, so that is 11daysofglobalunity.org. At the website, you can see replays of the recordings as well. And you can also make a contribution to support We the World by going to we.net. And we thank you. And now I'd like to introduce our founder and co-creator of 11 Days of Global Unity, Rick Olfek.
Thank you, Jana. And thank you all for joining us. Welcome to the annual 11 Days of Global Unity Summit, featuring visionary leaders and activists working for people and the planet and a world that works for all. Our summit panels on each of the 11 summit themes range from unity to environment to women to human rights, freedom, and peace. I and we are deeply grateful that you are helping us to celebrate the 20th anniversary of 11 Days of Global Unity. I also want to acknowledge some of our amazing partners who we support and who we collaborate with during 11 Days of Global Unity and all year round. The UN International Day of Peace NGO Committee, the UN Summit of the Future, and the Unite for Peace Coalition, which includes Unity Earth, Peace Week, the Sign Network, One World, We the World, Pause the World in Times Square, and Pace e Bene Nonviolence Campaign and March. What an amazing movement representing literally millions of people working to achieve global unity, all working with We the World and the We campaign at we.net. So I and we look forward to hearing from Aurora and Janet Grace. Thank you so much for being part of this summit for the 20th anniversary of 11 Days Global Unity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rick, and thank you, Jana. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with my beautiful co-host, sister and friend, Janet Grace, to really celebrate women at this 11 Days of Global Unity's Women Campaigns Day. And we thank We the World for holding this container across so many different sectors for so many years. So we are entering this conversation from a place of celebration, understanding that when we say yes, we would call it our sacred yes, wouldn't we, Grace?
Yes.
When we say our sacred yes and follow through with inspiration and action, a lot can be achieved. And so today, as we start to lean into a sacred conversation for women, we are acknowledging that she is rising. She is rising. Let's take a breath on that together. And wanting to acknowledge all of the women who have had the capacity and willingness to enter this conversation here today in circle with us, and also the women and others who'll be leaning in to watch this online. Just sending a huge, huge, huge welcome from my heart. I'm going to take a moment to introduce myself, but I really would love to hear from Grace.
Yeah.
Welcome, sweetheart.
Thank you. And it's just such an honor to be here also in love and support of these 11 days of global unity, because oneness, unity, unconditional love, and the upliftment of humanity is what we stand for. It's what we're here for. And so we're so honored and grateful to be participating at this level, to be of service to the women. As Aurora said, the things that we are so thrilled about is being in this engaging conversation and this time in human history when she is rising. And so I say, strap on your seatbelt and grab your journal, because we're going to have some fun today.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And for those who I haven't met as yet, my name is Aurora Pagonis. I'm tuning in from a little seaside town on the east coast of Australia. The sun is shining and she is also rising as I look outside my window to the trees and the beautiful oceans and the rivers that are also supporting us as we call in Mother Earth into this conversation today. So it's an absolute pleasure and a privilege to acknowledge the aspects of ourselves that are continuing to rise, but also who we've become. And so today we're going to have an opportunity to just give space to ourselves, to connect with ourselves, to connect with one another, and to connect with the sacred. And so it's an absolute joy to be weaving with you again, dear Grace, and remembering this is a conversation. One of the things that's important to me always when I'm attending an event or am presenting, this is actually a co-creation where we invite you to share your voices, to share your heart, to share your insights, your challenges, your needs. So together we can create a future and a vision that works for all.
Yeah. And I'm tuning in from a beautiful mountaintop town of Big Bear Lake, California. And for all of you who have been holding us in your prayers, we are safe, and we're grateful for all of the beautiful, amazing firefighters that have done everything that is humanly possible, and they're just extraordinary. One of the things that is really an essential element of Aurora's and my work for the last 5 years, as we have been really refining and elevating these sacred conversations, which are really a new technology for humanity to live and love and lead from love, living and leading from love. And when we're really engaged and really have our heart open and our heart first, we're literally changing the dialogue from head to the heart, and now from heart to the head. We're literally allowing our wide, incredible, intuitive hearts to tell our minds what's important and what to think and how to move forward.
Thank you, Grace. And I really want to honor the power of the oracular transmission, the power that is held in our voices. For me, it's the head and the heart coming together and then expressed through our voices. And the transmission and the vibration that we create through our voices is something that carries a wisdom that has been carried for eons of time. And so my work originally was working one-on-one, but I've been working with groups across the globe, because as we come together, this is where the newness is available. So I invite you to bring forth your voice. I invite you to bring forward also your sacred listening, a listening beyond the words. I invite you to allow yourself to open and to feel today, allowing vulnerability and intuition to be your guide. As we breathe in a safety into this space to allow us to be more of ourselves.
Yeah. And so this opportunity for us to really tune in, like the fine tuning of a radio station, it might have felt a little fuzzy, And now we're just inviting you to just really fine tune it so that the listening and the feeling of what feels true and right and authentic for you in this moment on this day. And I also want to bring in the energy of the full moon, because the full moon, and I've been leading full moon ceremonies since 1994. It's always about tuning in to the fullness of who we are and who we are becoming. And so we get an opportunity to go through this technology today, this experience of releasing what doesn't serve to embrace what is really seeking to emerge through you. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm going to share how we're going to play together over this 90-minute call. And essentially, for those who are leaning in on Facebook, because we are transmitting, I just wanted to share that with all the women who are sitting in the inner circle. You will get most of the call where we will be dropping into some silent inner meditation. We'll be doing some inner contemplation. And then the women who are in the circle in this call, and we invite you to come with us to join us in the circle in our monthly sacred conversations, which we'll be sharing more about down the track. As we lean in and go into breakout rooms to share with another sister, we'll be actually closing down the recording and also closing down the transmission, just so we can hold the integrity of the circle and you can feel that you can share in a very personal way. But we will be inviting those who are watching now or online down the track to also go into the contemplation so you can continue the process for yourself. So it's going to be important that you have paper and pen. And I always like to suggest perhaps a glass of water and some tissues, because we are opening a space of allowing all of us to be here. And we're going to just start with a little opportunity for the women who are here to just share a little bit about themselves. So over to you, Grace, for that.
Yeah, so there's a little chat box on the side, and we'd love to know where you're tuning in from, and a feeling word. Your name, your location, and maybe a feeling word. What is bubbling up for you that you would like to, name in this moment, and just share it with us, because I know that there's women, beautiful women from all over the globe, and so I'm going to pop mine in and just invite you all to pop yours in, and that way we can kind of connect the dots all over the globe and feel this sense of connection, a sense of our sacred conversation circle. Again, no beginning, no end. There's just this oneness that happens. And yeah.
We've got Bristol and Big Bear Lake, and I know there's Australia. Australia. It's beautiful.
Hello.
Oh.
Bristol, Tennessee, Vancouver, Canada.
Manhattan and Brisbane.
White Rock.
And we've got gratitude, appreciation, curiosity. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, beautiful women. And we're looking forward to hearing your voices as well shortly.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Keep tuning in.
Janine.
Lots of gratitude today. Beautiful thing. Yeah. So should we drop into a little meditation, Aurora?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So just taking a moment to get really comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps if you have available to have your feet on the floor, I've got my toes pressing gently into Mother Earth, just inviting us to close down the eyes as we start to enter our internal space. Allowing the opportunity to stop, to allow yourself to turn your attention inward now. Inviting us to take a deep, unified, deep breath in through the nose. And a long sighing breath out. Allowing your beautiful, beautiful belly just to soften and relax. Your shoulders to drop. Your eyes behind the eye sockets just to relax now. Giving yourself permission just to be here now. As we call all parts of ourselves past, present, and future here now. Expanding way, way out in front. Way, way out behind. As above, so below. Making your heart as wide as the world.
As you feel into that beautiful, wide open heart, just inviting you to put your hand on your heart and bring that love of self, that love of life, that love of your journey, that love of all aspects of you, all things you identify with, wife, a mother, a sister, a friend. And just honoring every aspect of you in a new way. All that you give to each one of those roles, all that you give to each of your family members, your friends, your community, and just using the energy of gratitude in this moment and just pouring gratitude to your own heart for all that you give, for all that you share. Just knowing that as we give, so shall we receive. And so just staying in this energy field of unconditional love for self and others. Let's take a deep, beautiful, heart-opening breath together. As you exhale and just release, relax, just inviting you to know that this time is just for you. It's a precious gift you're giving yourself, like going and getting a massage or a treatment. This is a beautiful, heart-expanding and emotional, mental, beautiful spiritual gift you're giving yourself. Let's take one more breath together. As you exhale, just wiggling your fingers and toes, just coming back into this present moment, this time, this space. And Aurora and I are going to share a dialogue together just to get you all juiced up and ready for this topic today. And in keeping with the sacred conversation method, we're going to just have an open dialogue about what does it mean? What is she is rising? Like, what's really in the juiciness of that statement, of that topic? at this time? Yeah. Would you like to start, Aurora?
Sure. And it was interesting as I was preparing to sit in circle with each of you today. I started to contemplate on who is this she? Who is she? Who is she? And as I started to feel her again, she is all of life. She is our breath. She is a delicate whisper. She is a thunderbolt. She is so many things. And it's important as we start to explore who she is, that we remember that this awakening of she, which is happening so powerfully and palpably across the globe right now, is not connected to gender as such, even though today we've invited a gathering of women, because she is also arising in our men. She is also needed in our men. She's needed to bring her compassion, her grace, her softness, her intuition, her listening, her allowing, her heart intelligence back into balance. And Grace and I had an incredible experience earlier this year where we took a group of women on retreat to Bali. And it was specifically to honour the 888. The 8th of August 2024 makes an 8, which is also known as the Lion's Gate. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. And a very important portal that the ancient Egyptians revered. And the 8 really feels present in this conversation because as we're wooing she to rise within us, in our remembering, in our acknowledging, but also in the new capacities that are now available to us, I really want to call in the figure 8 because we're weaving her into the masculine aspects of us as well, which have been so forward to come back into balance together. Who is she? Who is she?
Yeah. Well, and it's so great that you brought that up. Like, who is she? And, you know, we are all of the she's. We have all aspects. Like, you know, in our meditation, as we just grounded ourselves before this call, before this circle, we called in Isis, Mother Mary, Mother Earth. You know, these are all feminine life forms that we are all one with, that we are all connected with. So even with all the different qualities that each one of them represent, like, you know, the Lion's Gate, and that's the lioness, that's courage, and Kuan Yin represents compassion, and Mother Mary, unconditional love. Well, we know we can tune in and tap into any one of those divine feminine qualities at any given time that's needed in a conversation, in an interaction, in a co-creation, in anything that we are engaged in. And it's, you know, we're now fully immersed in the age of Aquarius, which is the feminine. And we just finished 2,000 years of the age of Pisces, which was very male dominant, a lot of warring and controlling, and a lot of conflict. And as of 2012, the calendar shifted, and so we're fully immersed now in the age of Aquarius. And what does that mean to us as women? Because it's Women's Day, we're honoring Women's Day, but also then what does it mean to us individually? How can we recognize what quality is needed at any given time during an interaction, a conversation, even a conflict or a challenge. It's like, what's needed there? And tuning into a feminine solution-based experience is something that when you start practicing it, it becomes more natural. And so we'll be talking a little bit more about that too.
Thank you. And, I really love witnessing all of you women here on the screen, and also imagining those who are tuning in from their lounge rooms or bedrooms or desks across the globe. Because it's really become apparent to me that we can't rise without each other, that we have to do it together. Because the special puzzle piece that Grace has, or the puzzle piece that Gopi has, or the beautiful and powerful piece that Kalyana has, is ready now to come together in a new jigsaw puzzle or a new tapestry, weaved together with our gifts and our genius. And so as we enter into circle, and we will be shortly having an opportunity to go into our own personal contemplation and to be able to share our voices in breakout rooms. So I'd like to invite the women on the call who aren't on video, if it's possible, to come to video, because you will be sharing with another woman sometime soon. But I do want to say that it's important, especially in these times where it feels like chaos is rising. Everywhere we look, there's conflict. It feels like it's non-peace, yet also love is rising. And to be able to come together so that we can feel a sense of nourishment. I know I continually need that. A sense of inspiration, not where we're having to push, that old way, which is a very masculine way, which I can do so well when necessary. So I love the masculine aspect of myself that can drive and make things happen. And, it's exhausting. So a place where I'm not in my motivation, but I'm inspired because my heart feels alive, and it happens in good company in these sacred circles. And also an opportunity to deepen our healing, which is, I believe there's another wave of healing happening for all of humanity. No matter how many deep dives we've done, no matter how many pieces of work we've mastered, we're all going through another wave of healing. And the promise is that we get to refine our gifts, but specifically our unique mission and calling. And so I want to add that into the mix as we're starting to feel how she is rising.
Yeah. And I love that you brought those aspects up, because when we can also recognize our own gifts, for us to hold them down or hold them hostage, and not express them and not give them forth from this place of really a muscle that I know is essential to keep building. And that's the muscle of trust. We must trust ourselves, trust that still small voice, trust the intuition, and trust what's bubbling up that is coming from that deep well of your own precious, unique gifts that, as Aurora said, we're here to weave in a new way our precious gifts so that we can bring even more life-giving and what I call love-inspired solutions for humanity at this time. And I know it was the Dalai Lama that said, it is the Western woman that will bring peace to this planet. And we're all, powerful Western women that are here to honor and recognize more of who we really are at the core of our being. Yeah.
So I'm feeling a sense of curiosity and urgency. Isn't that interesting? a sense of curiosity and urgency to experience what is starting to arise in each of the women who are here with us on the call. And in just a moment, Grace is going to take us into another meditation, a very brief one, to allow you to start to go within. The best guru, of course, is the inner guru. And we will be posing 3 questions that you can start to consider around She is Rising. We invite those who are in social media land to also take these questions and go on that contemplation. At the end of that, we'll be starting to set up some shares where you'll be sent to the room with another beautiful sister just to share your experience, and we'll share more about that, and we'll be closing down the Facebook connection at that point. So just inviting Grace to take us in to start to contemplate and to, be in a position to start to hear each of your voices.
Yeah, thank you, Aurora. So again, just closing down the eyes, putting our hands on our heart, and just feel that beautiful life force energy, your life, in the palm of your hand. What is your life calling for you to rise up in a new way? What aspect, what part of you is feeling this beautiful opening? And let's just take a breath on that together before we go into the questions. But let's just, as we take a breath, just intentionally feel as if you're giving yourself more space to breathe, to think, to feel, and to be more of your true self. So let's take a deep, beautiful breath together. Taking an extra sip, an extra sip. And as you exhale, just allowing yourself to relax and receive. And maybe in this moment, putting your hands with your palms facing up, either on your desk or on your lap. It's that non-verbal communication to the universe that you're open to receive. So as you listen for these questions, listen to these questions from that place of your open heart. What part of your life or aspect of yourself is holding you back? And then name it. It could be a belief, a habit, or perhaps an outdated story. What part of you, of your life, or an aspect of yourself is holding you back? And the second question is, what do you need to feel and do to transform this? Listen for that intuitive voice. The third question is, as a result, what quality begins to rise up within you? So Angels posted the questions in the chat box, and perhaps we'll have a little soft music, and take out your journal and just allow yourself to jot down some of the ideas, the feelings, the concepts that came to you and through you for you.
completing your journaling. And knowing that you can continue to receive throughout the call any whispers or more wisdom that wants to come through. So for our beautiful viewers on Facebook and other platforms, this is the time that we will say thank you and goodbye. We're going to just pause the recording as well, because we'll pick up at the end, Dear Angel. And we will be sharing the 3